Liebe Zuschauer und Zuschauerinnen, wir haben mal wieder Samstag, heute den 28. Januar 2023 und ihr habt wieder zugeschaltet beim Samstalk oder Verantwortungstalk, der ältesten Talkshow von Schenkerbewegung. Gibt's fast seit der Zeit, wo ich damals zum ersten Mal mit Handys in Berührung kam. Das war, glaube ich, so 2006 oder 2007 so. Ja, also, herzlich willkommen. Die Überschrift ist ja immer bei den Samstalks: Wir tauchen auf aus dem Strom des Lebens, in dem ja jeder sonst irgendwie mitschwimmt, und stellen die große Verantwortungsfrage oder überhaupt die Verantwortungsfrage, weil die Verantwortung kann man ja nicht nur um zwei Ecken denken und danach nicht mehr, sondern die muss man schon so weit denken, wie die Folgen reichen oder reichen können. Genau, wenn ihr über das Verbale hier hinaus auch Schriftliches sehen wollt oder schriftlich machen wollt, dann seid ihr eingeladen in unser erstes korruptionsbefreites Austauschforum www.freie-argumente-kultur.de. Und da gibt es eben auch einen Thread schon zu den Samstalks. Gut, wir machen es als Redekreis, reichen immer aneinander weiter den Staffelstab des Sprechens. Genau. Ich würde fast sagen, heute machen wir. Ja?
Ganz kurz. Also, there's a video talk. If you want to say, yeah, but we are all speaking German, so if you want to join.
We could reflect whether we all can speak English too.
Yes. Fredi kann auch kein Englisch sprechen, ne?
Ah, okay. Nee, then we have to stay in the German language.
Fredi, du kannst hier bleiben.
Yeah, Fredi, stay.
Komm, bleib doch gerne hier.
Fredi, bleib.
Bleib doch gerne hier, Fredi.
Aber wer ist denn jetzt alles noch dazugekommen? Also den Paul sehe ich gerade, das ist der Paul. Der Paul kann Deutsch sprechen, der schreibt auch Deutsch und dann kann er auch bestimmt Deutsch sprechen.
Da kann man von ausgehen. Ja.
Wer war das denn, den du da hattest, Janik, der Englisch spricht?
Ich habe hier einen Gast, der spricht Englisch aus Litauen. Und Russisch. Russisch, ja, Russisch spricht er auch. Aber damit,
Okay.
ja, aber das hilft uns ja nicht viel. Also Russisch hilft uns nicht viel. Ja, also wir haben jetzt die Situation, wir haben einen, der kein Englisch spricht, nur Deutsch spricht. Dann haben wir einen, der nur Englisch spricht und kein Deutsch spricht. Aber ja, weiß ich nicht, also...
Will denn der englischsprachige Gast hier an unserem Samstalk teilnehmen oder ist er insgesamt nur aus Interesse da?
Do you want to join this talk? Yes, of course. Ja, er sagt ja, aber dann ist Fredi halt irgendwie auch wieder also wäre ja auch schön, wenn Fredi teilnimmt und Fredi spricht
Ja,
halt...
ja, natürlich. Ja, wir überlegen jetzt erstmal kreativ. Also man könnte es ja auch so machen mit Übersetzungen. Also wenn jemand nicht dran ist, ne, also jetzt du zum Beispiel, Yannick, und du hast den Engländer bei dir, dann könnten wir Deutsch sprechen, du schaltest in der Zeit auf Stumm und übersetzt ihm, was gesagt wird.
Russian, English, Internet, Website and drawing.
Ja, oder wir machen das so, ja, schwierig, ne? Also, okay. Fredi sagt gerade, lass mich ins Bett gehen und dann macht ihr das auf Englisch, sagt Fredi gerade.
Wenn wir Fredi damit jetzt nicht traurig machen, dass er heute nicht beim Samstag mit dabei ist, also Fredi muss immer in Rückstimmung gehalten werden. So.
Fredi, bist du traurig jetzt?
Also ganz ehrlich, das reine englische Sprechen in diesem Samstag würde mir auch etwas schwerer fallen, muss ich ganz ehrlich sagen.
Na, das ist doch aber eine beste Bewährungsmöglichkeit. Und wir haben noch einen Vibe-Pipe, so habe ich den zumindest gespeichert. Das ist der Louis, der Superheld, der jetzt gerade zu uns gestoßen ist. Louis, wir überlegen, wie gut unser Englisch ist, weil da ein englischer Besucher im Camp ist und ob wir alles auf Englisch machen können.
Oh,
Was sagt dein Englisch? Im Moment höre ich gar nichts von dir.
I don't know.
Jetzt war irgendein geknautschtes Gemurmel sozusagen.
Es war mein Oxford-Versuch.
Okay, also jedenfalls scheint er sich zuzutrauen, wenn er von Oxford redet, der Louis
Hey
auch.
Lou, yeah,
Pizzle.
freut
Jawohl.
mich. Yeah, one love.
Likewise.
Ja, yeah, One Love klappt schon. Also Englisch, es kommt was Englisches raus aus den Teilnehmern der heutigen Session. Also wenn Fredi nicht zu traurig ist, können wir es Englisch machen. Wenn der
Jo.
Sven sich jetzt dann nicht zu diskriminiert fühlt und sich dem
Nein,
Bewährungsprobe seiner Sprache...
nein. Ich bin schon der englischen Sprache mächtig, aber es kommt halt nicht so flüssig rüber wie das Deutsche, weißt du?
Ach, da haben wir keine zu hohen Qualitätsansprüche. Wir sind ja unter lauter Primitivling. Guck dir unsere Global Love EU-Seite an, dann weißt du alles.
Ja, mein Schulenglisch ist schon ein bisschen länger her, weißt du?
Ja, das peppen wir jetzt auf. Das kriegen wir bestimmt alles hin. Was glaubst du? Ich bin ja auch nicht hier der Native English Speaker. Ne?
Hey,
Zwar habe ich auf der Schule immer das sehr gut eingeheimst. Ne? Du weißt, kein Fach, ne, wo der öffentlich der Beste sein musste.
so,
Aber
so
das
if you
ist jetzt auch
want,
schon ein paar Jährchen her wieder.
so if you want to, we can proceed in English because then the Thomas who is sitting next to me is understanding what we are saying.
Yeah, we will do so.
Yeah.
So, dear friends,
Guys,
our what someone says, then we should then mute our microphones when we are the speakers, because if then, while we are speaking in English, other people are speaking in between, then it can be very difficult. I shut the door here in my room, and I made some cows. So now I shut the door, because there can be noise around here too.
Paul, ich bin nur wegen dir
So.
hier.
That's it. Now we are there.
Ich bin nur wegen dir noch da, Lou.
I
So,
want to
Paul
just say,
says he is the most interested person in the universe to take part in the Samstag, Saturday talk. That's fine, Paul. We are happy about your presence. So I am beginning. I already welcomed our lookers at our Samstag now, Saturday talk, who are sitting in front of their computers and watch the Saturday talk. Well, I begin. We are rather many people today in the evening, and we are talking about responsibility. If we come out of the water of our normal life, where we are swimming all the time, and we look with our head over the surface of the water, what about responsibility in our life? Are we responsible? Can we say our life is okay? Okay, and me, I'm always telling a bit about my situation of life. I am sitting here in our scientific center of Givers movement.
Villa.
Villa, yes, it's a rather comfortable place here with a nice house and with electricity and warm water and heating and a garden where you can swim. Not at the moment because it's too cold and there is something put over it, but we have a swimming pool. Okay. And me, I am busy with a lot of things. I am making the publicity work from here. I am making conflict resolution work. I am preparing myself for a next scientific book, which I shall write. I was invited to make a actualized exemplary of my thesis, the book which you write at the end of your study time at the university. And I wrote about Mahatma Gandhi and how his ideas could be put into practice. Well, and this is what I now for more than 30 years tried then after my time at the university. So you see, that's very interesting for me that I can make this book. And I will put into this book what is happening now at the moment, because you see, I always, during the 30 years, I tried to come better and better forward with the ideas of Gandhi. And now I can say Gandhi tried to find a culture of truth and of arguments instead of fists or outside pressure, violence, and so on. And the most important thing, if you try to work with the power of arguments, is conflict situations. Because if arguments can show their power, the most needed place is conflict. And I'm living in conflict situations with the state, where we have a tent camp in Berlin, directly besides the government. And this tent camp is the most important project of the world. Yannick is the one who is very busy to keep it alive, that tent camp. He can tell us about the news. And this is the conflict line with the state, with the big society. Then we have conflict lines with other alternative scenes. For example, the so-called anti-fascist scenes, or left or eco scenes. And they are rather radical at the moment, with discrimination of people who are thinking in other forms. They say you should not speak with someone who is open to speak with right people or right-wing people. And yes, people from that alternative scenes attacked our camp and put it in part in fire and cut the tents and all those things. Well, and there we have a little possibility of contact. We have had a little possibility of contact in a Twitter account, and there I invited them, at least if we cannot speak about single points of conflict, to speak about the general question: how much should we at first try peaceful means and try to speak with one another instead of using violence? I asked them, are you ready to speak with us about that problem? And I can invite you, we can make of it a scientific research project, and in the end I can put it into a scientific book that I shall write. Yeah.
Most of us know all this. Maybe we
Yes,
find a
you see, dear, what are you at the television? Spectators? Yes, you see, we have people who say, don't speak too much, Öffi, it's boring, and we want to continue. But I say the last things, and it fits very well, because we have also conflict lines inside our own group, inside Givers movement. You think that's impossible? No, it's not impossible. We have such conflicts, and there it's the most important task for us to prove the effectivity of our conflict resolution means, our methods to solve conflicts, that we manage to do this among us ourselves. Yeah. For example, that nice person who said, I sure shall not be so boring. Louis and me, we are sparring partners at the moment for such a public process of conflict resolution. Okay, that's from me. My head and my heart is in Berlin and is here in the scientific center of Givers Movement. And it's very fascinating, all this work. So let us think, who is next? Shall we look for the age of the people?
Maybe.
Who is
46 is the Thomas from
Litauen.
Litauen.
46? Okay, who is older than 46? Nobody?
Ich bin auch. I'm 46 too.
46
Okay,
too.
In which
Okay.
month are you born?
Born in September.
In May. He's born in May, so he's older, right?
Older. Yes.
Right?
Okay, then Thomas is the next, and then it's Sven.
How does that matter to the deal?
Is it possible that he's a smoker?
How does that matter to all what we do? We have to stop the world, war in the world. How does that matter to all? You are 46 or you're 35. How does that matter? How? Tell me, guys.
I can interrupt a little bit. It's because we make a circle talking method so that we have that we talk one to another.
That's fine.
So,
I said what I want.
okay. So if you want to, you can say something about the topic.
The topic. Okay, the topic. The topic is the violence is a real problem in the world, and it would be really cool if we could, all of us, all your movement, could quiet it down at least, and if we could, stop it. That's all, really. And I don't know, joining this movement because I see really point in it, and I think without Jesus and true faith, we won't get out safe. And Gandhi and all fellas, they're fine, everything's all cool, but well, for myself, I could speak only of Jesus and the God side, and I would like to say, if we could, the ideas of Jesus that he came to this earth to fulfill, we could fulfill, that is an alternative for all wars to stop. That is just love the close ones as much as you love yourself. That is all. That is all, really, guys. I'm finished.
Alrighty. So Sven, if you want to, you can proceed.
Of course. Now I'm preparing for my journey to Dagelitz Mansion, and I'm learning new things about internet forum, so I can make my work there. I have a lot to do. I'm not boring this time. Next one.
Okay, who is the next?
Maybe me.
Okay.
Yeah, except the guest of Paul is older than 43 and wants to talk. Paul,
Ja, was?
ist dein Gast älter als 43 und will labern?
Nein. Mach mal.
Yeah, so I'm here because Paul is here, and yeah, interesting what Thomas said. Some people are not so sure if Jesus exists. Yeah, I'm very much into conflict resolution. I think Schenker-Bewegung, Givers movement is not as much into it as it claims. And yeah, I think it's interesting to have a camp and preach conflict resolution and not, yeah, really clear the conflicts with the inner circle, kind of. But yeah, I talked and wrote a lot about this. And I also canceled a project that I used to lead for the Givers movement. So yeah, I kind of ran my mouth enough about this, or yeah, I'm quieting down a bit, and I'm curious what the plans that we made about conflict resolution. There's some written discussions planned and that start. Yeah, and
Lou, du bist sehr leise.
yeah, sorry. And of course, there's many good things about the movement, and yeah, it's better than nothing that we can discuss things like we can. So thank you, and I pass the mic.
Okay, then it will be Paul, I think. Paul, we don't hear you.
Sorry, ich musste kurz. I am sorry because I was at the door because my doorbell rang.
Okay.
So
No problem. We are listening to you now.
that's nice. So I have 2 friends at my place at the moment. So probably, and I don't really get what's the topic of we are talking about right now. So maybe I just wait for my next turn and then I will be prepared to tell something.
Yeah,
so
fine.
I'm
It's okay.
And but okay, it's what was it like Jesus? Then we have the Gandhi style, and then we have like Louis saying about like his experience at the moment with the givers. Is this the right word in English? Givers, not Schenker. Giver.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Givers is okay.
Okay. So yeah. Next one, please. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yo, Yannick here from the Peace Camp in Berlin. I'm nice, okay, happy to be here. I sitting here with my guest Thomas, and we are now in some kind of gray zone. No, not gray. It's maybe a little bit more like take-off zone. I don't know. So the government canceled finally the permission for the camp, and now we can see how the next days will develop if they come and with police and sending us away. Yeah, and then we can see how the next how we can make the next time. Yes. And yeah, about the givers movement, yeah, Louis seemed to be unhappy about the conflict solving methods or the practice of it, and yeah, for me, it's I don't see where it could be a better place to practice these conflict solving methods. So yeah, so we have good. I think we have good possibilities to do it, and we are. I'm myself. I'm in a conflict process with Louis since last year summer, June, and yeah, and it would be interesting if we could do it also further. But I think it might can be interesting if the 3-sentence meditation between Earthy and Louis is now starting, and for me it's also an interesting conflict solving method, and where Louis and I already started in the last year with it, and then it cut it off, this thing. And yeah, but I would be happy if we could do it again, and yeah, finding a way to do it. Yes. Is there something else? No, I don't have something else. I give the talking stick to the next one, which is called FF.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the speakers who now spoke in front of me or earlier. Yes, I pick out some points. Yeah, concerning conflict resolution processes, conflict solution. Yes, I am very fascinated of the developments, and I can say I am a bit euphoric again. I'm often euphoric about idealistic things. Louis knows I'm like an exaggerating fan in parts, or seeming like such a fan. So the Earth is often euphoric. And I'm euphoric now as I see that the conflict work process with Louis, yeah, I can say concerning the progress of methods, we are now in the Holy Land, or in the Promised Land, from my point of view, because we are making now the so-called 3 sentences mediation. And this is, to my mind, the highest form which can be practiced, especially as we are at this, we can say, second level of it. The first level is that 2 people, or the people who are concerned in a conflict, directly concerned, that these people are in a written way exchanging themselves with each one 3 sentences. And yeah, the second step is that we ask others as conflict helpers, conflict supporters, who come and join into this 3 sentences mediation. And this is now the case. We have, what is it, 3 or 4 conflict helpers who take part in this public written conflict work. And this is, for me, really a bit like paradise concerning the methods. And yes, we will look how this develops. I think nowhere in the world there is such a methodic level, not in the big politic sphere, but also not in the personal sphere of people. At least when it comes to the point that, yeah, people are asked to take part in such conflict work, then you can see that nowhere at any level there is such a possibility as we in Givers Movement offer it. Yes, then there were other points, Jesus and Gandhi. Yes, I think that it is good to have Jesus and Gandhi at the inner round table. I have them there and can discuss with them how I should live and what I should do. Very good to have them. And I can have them there as, let's say, living spiritual beings. And at the same time, I can say, yes, perhaps Jesus, perhaps he wasn't even an historic person. Perhaps he's only a story. And then for me, it's important whether the moral of the story is functioning, if it's truth or not. Because answers about the sense of life and about moral values, they cannot be justified, or the reasons for accepting such values of sense and moral values cannot be that the person told us. If we really understand the correctness of such sense and moral values, then it must be because we understand them as structures of reality. Like if you have a radio and there is a screw in it and the radio does not function, to look how should this screw work, or how should we repair it so that the radio can function. And like this, we must understand the reality, the background of reality for sense and moral values. To hear that Jesus or Gandhi said, oh, this value is correct, you should follow it, is not the level of a self-understanding person. It's following another instead of really self-understanding. Yes. So I'm happy to have Jesus and Gandhi, and I see the reasons why the messages of them are correct. Those reasons are insights into the structures of reality. And I am following their ideas because I understand the structures of reality in conformity with these messages. Okay, that's from me at the moment, and then I give up to it was Thomas, I think.
What should I press? No pressing, just holding. Just holding.
Hello?
Yeah,
Look, guys.
You can talk now.
I can talk, yeah? Okay. Well, guys, I'm not aware of the things that goes on here much because I'm just the first day here. Okay? And what about you spoke about Jesus, okay? Well, you said he's like a story person. Well, guys, please answer me the question. Would a story, half of the world, make up a religion? And half of the world would follow, and the organizations and everything support, like Caritas and Diaconia and other organizations like Vatican, and would they make their basis on a story? Just think about that, guys. Honestly, just think. And first of all, Jesus was a real person as far as I know from the documentaries. That's the first thing. Well, whatever it was, he has brothers, he has sisters, he was mad or whatever, his ideas is what matters. We're not for his, how to say, tail and dig into his family, first of all. We're after what he was up to in here. Okay, and what he proposed is good things, and it's all written in the Bible. Everything, absolutely everything. Just have a read of it. And well, the most important thing is, of course, is love, and the love, the brother to the brother, the close of you to the close to yourself, and that's what. If we could make a nucleus, I would say a center of that brothership, well, it would be actually the same that a church, okay? And if, as a church, brings the idea of love and belief, we could bring the idea of peace, okay? With the same principles. And well, really to say somebody maybe believes in Jesus, that he is sitting at the right of the God and anything, or maybe somebody believes just a God or angels or whatever he does. The principles do not change. They do not change. They really don't. No matter what you believe. And the principles are good. The problem is that they don't really work every day. And there's a friend I have now by my hand, right? Not at this moment, but it's a Latvian fella. Just he's not believing anything, right? He believes in money and success and prison and all that kind of shit. And well, it's hard really with love. It's hard. And to say honestly, you have to put a lot of work to get it to work. It's not going to be an easy fight. And the protest, well, the protest is fine. That is showing the world that we do care, that Germany cares, the German people care. That is cool. That is really cool. That you don't want to be feeding the war and we don't want the wars to go on. That is really cool. I don't want to speak of Lithuania, but as of myself, I don't want wars to go on at all. I want people to be brothers. I want people to be happy. I don't want them fight on the streets, honestly. I don't want anyone to be robbed on the street. Really. That's not fair. Also, it's not fair that somebody doesn't have a home or a job. That somebody has no opportunity to come home and has to sleep on the street besides the supermarket, in the sleeping bag. Okay. It's not fair. It's not fair. And if a city like Berlin can have a solution for that, I don't know. Like I today read in the newspaper, there is 3.1 million of people in Germany that seek jobs and they can't find. Okay, that is shown. But like 3.1 million people. Okay, we can divide to the many towns where we can make a sleeping places or anything. I don't know. That wouldn't cost much in a comparison of the things that the cities and towns are making profit of the income out of the business that they have. Okay, let's say annual. Well, you for the shelter or sleeping bags or I don't know. Just to have it. I'm homeless myself at the moment, and to be honest, I don't see the problem in a winter in Germany, especially in a southern part of it, Rhineland-Pfalz and Hessen and all that kind of parts. Well, Berlin is a bit colder, but anyway, all you need is a good sleeping bag, something under it, and a roof from the rain. If that kind of places could be selected, that's cool. That's a lot of people saved out of the street. You just come, put your sleeping bag, and you just sleep in it. All right. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the center of the town of the city. It can be somewhere out of the way, as I say, out of the way, somewhere nobody, no tourists, no government sees. Okay, all right, it's a poor part of the city, but it's a solution for so many people. It is a solution, honestly. Right, guys, I think I'm out of topic. Just have a word, yo. Thank you for listening. Dankeschön. I'm out. Thomas?
So, next one.
I'm not a believer of Jesus Christ. I'm a believer of science. So I don't have to say a lot in this moment. So I give it to the next.
Okay, I don't believe in science and I don't believe in Jesus. So I also don't believe that, like what Yannick said, that this is such a good place for conflict resolution. But yeah, it's a long story. It's all written down, and yeah, we might come to that. So I pass it on. Thanks. I don't believe in things that is labeled science.
Ich habe gerade nicht den Rest verstanden, was du gesagt hast. In what do you actually believe? I couldn't hear it. You're in general very not so good to hear.
Yeah, I have a special telephone. That's one of
Now
my
it's
things.
better.
Yeah. So I don't believe in the thing that is labeled as science. That's all.
Okay. Would you mind to explain it more detailed? What you mean with it? Like, do you think there is like a true way of science, but the actual one is like not the pure form of it, or what does it mean?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. I think what is labeled as science is a lot based on money and not on free thought.
Okay.
And the science I dream of, or yeah, that I consider science, is open to new results. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe even science is like in a form of evolutionary process. So it's evolving in some way to another better state by its own, or in a way. I guess so. I would say so. And maybe what we have right now is like a test, and it's like always a thing to get conscious about like certain kind of problems. So what we now have is like to see how interests of people with money and stuff interfere with like the idea of science. So it maybe, even this is like a scientific project going on, like to build up scientific better states or whatever. So yeah, like I can like what I have like the topic on like Jesus and religion. I have want to say about is like I'm not like I like the concept of Jesus like as like a maybe like a fictional thing, and it's like an idea which is very high up, like somehow I really like this. So Jesus is an interesting psychological phenomenon or whatever, like or kind of behavior, or like something you can try to follow to be like one of the best versions of yourself or and it brings like some Erkenntnis, oh God, like what the fuck English yeah,
Insight.
so say again.
Insight or knowledge or
Knowledge, yeah, insight, yeah, some insight or something, yeah, like perception or perceptions, yeah. So maybe like Jesus is like the top of like evolution of religious thoughts or something, like especially like in the Christian thing, it's like the Old Testament and the New one, and like the difference like in the old one is like an eye for an eye and stuff, and like when Jesus came it changed to like even like if you get hit from one side, then let the other one hit you from the other side. It's like to try to break the circle of violence, like with this peaceful behavior and stuff. And so yeah, but in general I feel like religion is not needed anymore. Like it had a place in the history of like development. So therefore it has like a value. And so I cannot say religion itself is bad or whatever. It's kind of very interesting, especially if you want to like study like the evolution of human development of like conscious or some. So yeah, I can give that to religion in some way, like but I feel like science is like the only real way we have to get away like from, I don't know the English word of it, like Aberglaube. So like this thing where you believe in stuff that is obviously built up on faith of wrong perceptions, like so, and dogmas, especially dogmas. And so I believe like science is, I mean, science itself has never the thing that it says that it consists of, or that it has the only truth available, because science itself knew that there is never the possibility for us as the person or the object that looks at other objects to have like a neutral viewpoint. So therefore we can never have like a objective view on things, and we can never get the full truth. Like there's always this that we cannot see fully or some, so blah blah blah. It's really hard to say it all in English, I'm sorry for that. So yeah, and also of course I understand Louis with like the state of we are in at the moment, but yeah, for me it's like the only the best way we have to like send something like God, whatever it is. I think the word itself is problematic. Like there are many words that are problematic, but it's like a scientific way. So I feel like all the religious try all the religious Versuche. Oh man, I'm sorry. Versuch. Oh God, oh God.
Attempt or try.
Attempts. Thanks. Yeah.
Attempt or try.
Yeah. They are like, they are a sin itself. Like, I mean, even in the Bible it says you should not make a picture out of God or whatever. Like, I feel like, yeah, religious ways are damned in a way, that they are wrong, and science gives everything that religious also tries to give, but on a much more based level, and always at the same time not with saying they are the only ones who has the full truth or something. So if like the pure kind of science is like dogmatic free, like no dogmas, and so it's to me the only tool we have like to gain whatever you want to call knowledge, like, or it's, yeah, to me the only thing that blah 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 is working. Okay, so this is just to clarify this. So I don't really have a lot to say in the end, to be honest. Is there anything? No, I think this is enough for right now. I mean, blah. English talking is so funny. So the next one can have fun.
Nee, Luis. Nee, ich, ne? Ja. Yes, I have nothing to say. I'm passing the talking stick to Effie.
Yeah, and I saw, I'm not quite sure, but it seemed that my wife Anke joined us. Is this true? If yes, Anke, are you interested to listen, or do you want to say something? As you heard, we are speaking about what importance has Jesus. Is he only a fictional person? Is he a spiritual truth, a story person, and so on? What importance does he have for our life, or our orientation in life? And we spoke naturally about the big problems of conflict resolution in the politics that the camp is now threatened by the police. That the police will destroy it, and there are conflicts between alternative scenes. I said there was an attack at the peace camp from so-called alternative groups. And we spoke that we have a lot of conflict work also among the members of our own alternative movement, the Givers movement. So I don't know. I cannot see exactly whether you are there or not. But if you can say then that you want to add some thoughts, if you like. I don't hear anything. If not, I think perhaps there you simply want to listen to us. Okay, then I continue. Thomas, you said Jesus is a historic person, and it's sufficiently documented. And you asked if he would not have been an historic person, could he have had such effects, such a worldwide religion, and all the effects in history? I say yes. There are also mythological persons which have had a big impact in historic development. Even at the moment, we have a movement which is a bit worldwide. It's the so-called Anastasia movement, coming from Russia, where an author, Megri is his name, I think, wrote some books about a woman who is living like a ghost in the forest, and to end its fictional story, but he describes it a bit as if it would be outside reality. And yes, there can be mythological or fictional ideas or persons, so-called persons, which can have such an effect. But I join your opinion when you say what matters most, that are the principles, the principles of love and of peace and of brotherhood of man and such things. Yes, and there I say, I hear this from Jesus as from Gandhi and others, and I say, yes, that are correct ideas. But the reason why that are correct ideas, that is, as I already explained in my last contribution here in the talk today, the reason for me to think that this is right is that when I reflect what is our role as human beings in the world, we are the intelligent beings, and we should manage to follow arguments. And if we see we are on one level with the other human beings as the thinking animals, we are so much on one level with one another. And it's so beautiful if we speak and look for arguments instead of fighting against one another, that it's quite natural that then we are becoming something like argument brothers and sisters, following the power of the arguments and feeling as brothers and sisters while doing so. And yes, that's the reason why I think the messages of love and truth and peace and so on are true. Not because an authority told me, like Jesus or Gandhi. Then I would follow the authority and would not have understood it in its real meaning, reality meaning. Okay. Concerning Givers movement and the conflict methods and how we practice those methods, yes, I have the same attitude as Yannick already explained it. And it can be proved now in the 3 sentences mediation with Louis. There is the highest possible quality which is practiced in the world. I do not say that we are perfect, not at all. We have many faults and necessity to develop further, to become better. But if you look around, we are far further already than everything else which I know in the world. Yes. That's for the moment what I can say. I transfer the speech to the next one. Woo.
I will repeat the president of my country. Enemy can be stopped only on a battlefield. That's the thing. And there's no solution for that, really. You can search the psychological facts, but enemy, if he's violent, he will do what he will. That's the thing. He can be stopped only on a battlefield. Well, how you want it or not, but that's the truth. Love, as you was talking about and you are spreading, is something that you must do. You must do. You must not say it. You must spread it. Okay? Well, that love is maybe some nice words besides your tent, or that's what I think. Can't think anything more at the moment, but maybe nice words. And what's about the enemies, the conflicts? I don't think they can be stopped in a love way. Or, as you say, no God and anything. Well, if you truly believe in God, you stand in front of your enemy and you either get killed or you will stop the enemy. Well, the truth is, on a battlefield, soldiers die. That's the truth. Don't know, guys, how far you gonna go, but soldiers do die on the battlefield. That's the truth. Okay, I'm actually finished with that. Just give the microphone to somebody else. Say out, guys.
Well, so to Jesus Christ, I believe that Jesus really exists as a person. So he was named by the Bible and the Quran, but I don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God. So, and one fun fact is, the only difference between religion and a sect is the quantity of members.
A short question. The difference. Can you repeat that with what you lastly said about the sect thing?
Ich sagte, der Unterschied zwischen Religion und einer Sekte ist nur die Anzahl der Mitglieder laut Wikipedia.
So you said the difference between a religion and a sect is the number of people.
The quantity of people, yeah.
The quantity of people is the difference between religion, a religion and a sect. So this sentence seemed to be wrong for me.
Das ist die Definition.
That's the definition. Okay. I don't know. So you can proceed, Sven.
I'm ready. I'm finished.
Okay, I think we are all the children of God or life or whatever. And I stopped the...
Luis, kannst du ein bisschen lauter sprechen, bitte?
Yeah, I will go now, and I thank you all very much and wish you all the best. One love.
One love. Ich glaube, ich auch. Ich habe euch auch ganz doll lieb. Tschüss.
Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye
Bye.
to Paul and to Louis if they leave us now. Okay. Then after Sven, the next one is, I think, Yannick, isn't it?
Yes. So, there we had the topic like fighting battlefield, and I think like when we think about Jesus and he died on the cross, he was going the way of a kind of taking the pain instead of answering with the same violence. So, and this is a really, I think, a really good way to live, to take the suffering and the pain, to because if you're not answering it in the same way or in a more extreme way, then you healing the thing. So a really good example for us to do and to live. And a conflict when you are on the level of talking and not shooting, then of course you can use the method like the 3-sentence mediation method, which I really like because it's so transparent, kind of transparent, because we have a chat group from Givers Movement, Schenker Chat Radikal Offen, and when you in a chat group when you have something like 400 messages and different discussions and topics, it's a kind of really untransparent, hard to have a good overview, and but with the 3-sentence mediation you can have a good focus on one topic. So but with the chat it's like we have an internet forum. In the internet forum we can have a better structure also. So and so I like this method of 3-sentence mediation. And for me it's a kind of challenge when a discussion becomes too spready. Then just for me I just answer in 3 sentences to bring the thing down. Like if I discuss with somebody and he is throwing me pages of things around my head, and then I just answer with 3 sentences, I can bring it down this way a little bit, I guess. So that's for me, and I pass the talking stick to Afi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Very fascinating question what Thomas asked. How can we act when we are in front of our enemy? On the battlefield, soldiers are dying. That's true. And there can be a situation when you walk on the street and suddenly someone comes and tries to beat and to kill you. Then it's a situation where you could not prepare yourself before. Then too, it's the question whether you react with violence or not. You have the decision, And it's a question, what is best in this situation? Big good examples like Jesus or Gandhi normally would say you should not react with violence. Me, I think there can be exceptions if you see the other one is obviously insane, is mad, cannot look straight out of his eyes and such things. There can be exceptional situations, but normally a very persuasive argumentation for me that is that we should be so non-violent that it can convince the whole humanity of non-violence. And in order to be so, it's a big reason not to react with violence, even if you are killed. Then yes, it's that Jesus logic to live the non-violence in a way that it can create the kingdom of God in this world where all the people become pacifists and so on. But soldiers in a war, that's even another thing to my mind, because it's not the sudden situation on the street where you could not prepare yourself, but it's a decision and it's a planned action to make war, to become a soldier on the battlefield. And there we have more possibilities to say no and to ask ourselves, how can we act or react in situations where we are attacked? What is our conscious strategy to act? And I think we do not even have to wait till war is standing in front of our door. But for me, the peace work is a work that starts immediately, and it starts by cultivating peace, by cultivating the peace methods. I think that if we really make a very, very strong argumentation culture, argumentation instead of violence, if we do this in our daily life, if we do this in our context, in our relations to friends, family, and to the people on the street, if we go and create such structures of arguments instead of corruption or violence, then we create a basis for peace. And that the probability of the situation that on the street someone comes to kill you, or that there is the danger of war, this can be very much changed. The danger can be very much reduced. Yes. And I think this is the most important work. We had the visit of former, it's already several years before, that woman had a high political position. Rita Süßmuth is her name, and she visited us in our peace camp. And she said, yes, what you do here is very important, because all the politicians before did not manage to get the change from violence and corruption and so on to a way of speaking with one another that really solves problems. And how can we reach this way of speaking with one another so that it solves problems? What I call the arguments instead of fists or instead of violence culture. There we can do a lot. We can do a lot by creating very open communication, by inventing conflict solution methods, as we talked about. The best possible in the world is, to my mind, the 3-sentence mediation. Yeah, and we can go and can create possibilities of exchange, like the free argumentation culture forum. I talked about that internet board, that internet forum, where really free exchange of thoughts and of content is possible. And we can create even new political systems. In Givers movement, we have the idea of a much further developed form of democracy. We call it the humanity consensus democracy. And it means that if democracy really shall be a decision structure where the people who are concerned by a decision can take part in the decision making, then we must see that the poor children in the poor countries which are starving and the children of the future, where we perhaps destroy their life basics, these groups must be the most important vote groups, or must be regarded as the most important vote groups. And even if they are not present at our table when decisions are made, I always use as an example to illustrate the new democracy, the humanity democracy, that if there is one scientist who in a serious way can say, okay, here the decision you want to take is destroying the life basics of the future generations. I can say this with enough evidence, and you must decide otherwise so that the life basics for the further generations are saved. Then the vote of this scientists must be regarded as having more weight than, let's say, 99% of the population here, for example, of Germany, who want to take another decision, for example, to get more money or more consuming possibilities. We must develop in some way such a decision structure which is able for a real global responsibility, also a future responsibility, responsibility for the future generations. Okay, so I think we should prepare peace so that we are not asking us then in the survival situation how we should behave, and then we can create a culture that can give peace to us and to the social conditions and to the development of humanity. Okay, I pass the talking stick to the next one.
Well, I was listening carefully, guys, to what you said. Well, I don't know. This way or another, we're turning towards the principles of Jesus. Just when somebody hits you, just stand and don't hit. Soldiers die on a battlefield. That's it. We are soldiers of the peace and love, okay? And we do die by our methods. We don't respond with violence. So, we just stand, we can talk, we can argument, but we don't respond to the violence. That's the method. Turn your cheek when you are being hit. That's what I was talking about Jesus. I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about methods that Jesus used. Well, he was crucified, so I can foretell the future of us. We will be crucified. This is a cruel world, and this cruel world was going on for ages, right? And to stop it, will demand as the power of Jesus. That's what I promise you. So, I don't know, guys. We either dig into psychology and try to solve the conflicts in a psychological way, but that requires a lot of knowledge, and you can't how to say, control the situation without that knowledge. Well, there are people that are making degrees in science of psychology and handling out situations such like bank robberies and big violent situations and war situations. And we're trying to handle simple situations like burning out a camp. Okay? Well, that's the same war. It doesn't matter. So, either we stand like Jesus and put our cheek for a hit and die, and either we fight like Templiers, you know, we have to make up a choice. Well, Templiers is not a choice, and Jesus is a hard choice, to be honest. But religion is not what I'm talking about. Religion is a very personal thing. You either believe or you don't. So I'm not telling that everyone in this organization should turn to Jesus, but we should turn to his principles, because he was for ages the one that was talking of peace, love, and humanity. I don't know English word for that. Coexisting. Well, maybe we should dig into the reasons why these situations occur. And most recently it's drugs, alcohol, and I don't know, selfishness or maybe ego. And maybe we should read some more talks of scientific people that do talk about these things, and put advertisements in front of our camps for the people to read. So I would see that as the only way to people to realize when they're passing by our camp, to realize that something is wrong with their lives, okay? Why this violence occurs. But that requires a scientific work. I don't know in Germany where will I be able to find English books to read and find out that information to put the advertisements and all that kind of stuff. Like you know, it's easy to shout. It's easy to shout. It's easy to shout. It's easy to put a camp in front of the dome and shout, "We want peace." Okay, you want peace. So what? Everybody wants peace. So what? What you gonna do about that? What you gonna do? What we should think out is what we're gonna do. A solid plan of strategy. A solid plan. And that plan must be not a joke. There must be not shouting ideas, but there must be scientific ideas proven by psychology or some serious people, or even the reciting, not reciting. I don't know English word. Sorry, recitating of serious people words. Well, that's what I think. That's what I think. The people passing by should read them. They should read them. They should stop. Just stop and think. Think about what we carry by this camp. It's not like I want peace. Everybody wants peace. Everybody wants quietness. Everyone wants peace on the street. Everyone wants to come home safe. So, what I would suggest, every one of us, think about how we can do it. And my solution would be to go to library and just read something of psychology, something of social workers, something of social stuff, and put it in front of our camp so people passing by can read it. I think that's a strategy. That's what I think. Okay, I'm out. Giving word to others.
Yes. No human wants violence or war or something like that, but it exists in the world. So it's a very I can't say anything to this paradoxon. Yannick?
Okay, you're finished, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, how can we do it? Yeah, following it in a strictly, yeah, or in a, oh, with I like this kind of saying, with strong determination. If we find a right way or follow the right way with strong determination, then we can make progress on the right path. And for that, we have our really nice projects, 10 projects in Germany, where the people can join in and live these ideals. They don't need to be alone on the street. They can join us. And yeah, so we can do it, and everybody is welcome who has interest in it. Okay, thank you. I pass the talking stick to Afi.
Yes, thank you. And yes, to your question, Thomas, you are right. We should reflect about peace and we should act for peace. We should at first reflect to see what is the good action for peace, and then we should do it. And you are at a place there in the peace camp where we say, yes, we are trying to both reflect and act for peace as good as we can. Jesus and Gandhi are good examples for us, whom we want to follow. Not everybody is Christian, not everybody is a fan of Gandhi, but I think the central ideas of both of them and of some more spiritual or wise people, there we agree and we try to make the best of it. And I think we can show a lot. You see, Yannick and me, we have left the violent system of the state, who sends the violent people like policemen, soldiers, and so on. We have left the economic system, which exploits and kills people worldwide in the poor countries and so on. We say we want to live as brothers and sisters with our fellow human beings. We try to do all these things as good as we can. We try to invent a peace culture with that forms of open communication. Our internet forum, which tries to give possibility for uncorrupted communication. We develop conflict solution methods and we try to use them. We are thinking about new political systems which can be non-violent and sharing among all human beings and so on. If you are, as I understood, if you are homeless at the moment, you can reflect. The peace camp is a possibility to take part, even if the state comes and destroys it. Yannick will continue. Freddy, I hope too, and need 2 or 3 more persons in Berlin, which make a team, a strong team that can continue the line of the camping, even if the state says he does not promote it or doesn't want to allow it any further. And as Yannick already said, we have about 10 addresses in Germany where we try to live the message of peace and truth as consequently as possible. And at all these places, we need more persons. For example, Sven wants to go in February into one of our projects, and yeah, it's very much needed that people go there because several places are empty because there are no persons who really want to think holistically about responsible life and that it can mean to create alternatives to the political system and such things. All the people want to stay in the political system and do some little things to feel as good persons, but they are not thinking about the whole context, about the systemic questions and such things. We have no taboos. That means if someone is, if you say to yourself, I want to look for the way of love, of peace, of responsibility, and I want to go this way without restrictions, without taboos. Well, you find then in us and in our projects good possibilities to follow such a way. So, invitation to look whether this can be something for you. If you want to go this way as strong as possible. Yes, that's it. I pass the talking stick to the next.
Well, guys, look, I was listening to you all the evening, okay? And for me, it seems like we're trying to solve the problem of millennia and not the one. And we actually are parallel to the Christian mission all over the world. That's what is being done. It's like bringing people together, giving them hope, giving them peace, and trying to change their souls. Well, that's exactly what you do, guys. But as a Christian church, now it turns into politics and instead stays into politics. You know what I mean? It's that's influential because of the belief of the people, okay, and the amount of them. Well, that's one side. You are as organization not strong one, and to show up yourself, I don't know. That's a question. Should we be doubling or going parallel with a Christian church to stop it? Eitherwise, we should turn to serious scientific research, especially in psychology and sociology, and put out our how to say in English, sorry. I don't know how to say in English, sorry guys. I just very clear ideas, if you see what I'm saying. Very clear ideas for the people. It's not like love. Love is very abstract. It's very abstract. It should be like okay guys, stop the war. Enough of killing each other. Come on, embrace each other and just live like brothers, and no, I don't know, something like that, you know. Love, love like such. Love can have so many meanings. Like love for a woman, love for a country, love for God, love for Jesus. There's so many loves. Love is too abstract. As far as I say, you guys don't turn into religion. So I guess you as a company should build up a real scientific way based on works of seriously proven people by scientific world and as I said, psychology and sociology, and pull out their ideas of making peace up together, making it one. If you don't turn into church, because otherwise you will be doubling it. You know what I mean? You will be doubling it, because church is already doing that. Every church, every single church, starting from evangelics, Protestants, and Catholics, and every church is doing that. Every religion is doing that. And they haven't succeeded in millennia, and not one. You know what I mean? So there has to be a real strong point from scientific side. Well, there were no scientific movements since, I think. Well, maybe Gandhi. But what you guys are doing, you are based on no religion, you are based on love. And love is abstract. And people don't love abstract. Honestly, I'm telling you, they don't love abstract. They don't know what that love is. What that love is. Love to God, love to country, love to who? Love to who? They don't understand. Have to be exact. What you want to love. Each other? Who? Who? Has to be brought to understanding to everyone. I'm out.
All right, next one.
Yes, of course. Thomas, you say love is too abstract. I think you need peace and freedom like you need food. I give it to the next.
Yes. What you say, you need peace and freedom like you need food, right?
Yes.
Yes, of course, yes. What I wanted to say, what Thomas said, like we double it, or we would double it maybe, or we would double it like the church. I would say no, we don't double the church. The church, you cannot find a place to sleep without money and without state. In the church, you can go on Sunday for a prayer, but you cannot live there. They don't have this community projects, and yes, it's not that realistic, livable like in our projects. So yeah. That's for me. And if we want to, we can bring this round to an end. If we want to, and slowly. And I pass the talking stick to Effie.
Yes, thank you all. I can agree to what Yannick said. It's okay if the churches say they want to spread the message of Jesus, and perhaps they want to try to live it. But when I look what is the consequence in thinking and in doing, then I see that nearly all the Christian groups are integrated in the state and money systems. They are the ones who give the orders to the state, to the policemen, to the soldiers, and so on. They all, instead of fraternal sharing, take part in the capitalist competition structures and so on. And they all are not really open to discuss about all those things freely and to think it to the end. And so that all are reasons why we say we need to go further. We need to live a movement, our givers movement, which says everything can be thought as possible to the end. We have no taboos. There are no dogmas or gurus or authorities which mustn't be questioned. All this is not existing. We are thinking freely. We are trying to reflect what is sufficient for a really responsible life in this world. And the consequences to which we come, as I said, I do not find them anywhere else. That critics of state money, pleading for communities of global sharing, and really to do this. Yes, I do not see it. When it is at other places, we can join, we can unite, but we should look where is really this kind of open thinking and of radical consequences. I can always invite people to look and to test where is so much openness and that the people are ready also for radical consequences. Yes, we have 3 minutes after 10 o'clock. I think we should give to everybody of our little circle now the possibility to say 1 or 2 last sentences, and then we can finish our Saturday talk for today. From me, the sentences are: let us try to be honest, to think in a totally free way, and to take the consequences where we really can say this can be sufficient for a responsible development in the world and for the children of the future. Okay, for the spectators also, if you like, think about these questions. I pass the talking stick to Thomas.
Well, guys, to be honest, I don't really know what to say at the moment. We do need all right. No, guys, sorry, I can't. I don't want demagogy. Demagogy. I don't want to say shit. Actually, yeah. I better shut up. I need to think about all that thing. Okay. Giving a microphone to others.
Okay, my last sentence. Keeps the fire burning, keeps the world turning.
Yeah, my last sentences are: let's follow the best sense in life, and let's have a good night tonight.
Okay.
Good night, all.
Goodbye to everybody. Woo.
Goodbye. Good night.
Gute Nacht.